welcome to my channel. I'm Vera Bunezi. Today we are going to discuss about direct and indirect. But before coming to the material, I think it's better for you to understand about the formulation of several tenses that can be used in your direct and indirect later. So let's discuss about your direct and indirect speech.
Direct and indirect speech. Direct indirect speech is commonly found in certain kind of text, for example, narrative and news item. Direct speech is also known as a quote speech, while the indirect speech is commonly known as a reported speech. If we use direct speech, it means that we need to use quotation mark because we want to repeat some sentences exactly as it is. While in indirect speech, we are not going to repeat the sentences but just report it. When we study about direct and indirect speech, we need to know about reported verb. There are some words that can be used as a reported verb such as ask, tell, and say. We use the word say if we don't have direct object in the sentence, while we use the word tell and ask if you want to mention the indirect object. Let's see the example. He said he was hungry. He said he was hungry. It means that we don't have direct object there. Another example is, he told me that he was tired. He told me that he was tired. The word me means we have the indirect object there. When we want to change the sentence from direct into indirect form, we should focus on the form of the reported verb itself. If the reported verbs are in the first form or present simple, we don't need to change the tense. Just change the pronoun if it is necessary. But if the reported verb are in the past form, we should change the tense, time signal, adverb of place, and the pronoun. To make us easy in changing the direct into the indirect form, let's classify the sentence into three: imperative, statement, and question. Now, let's study the first about imperative. In imperative positive, we just need to add to replace the quotation mark. We don't have to change anything in the sentence. Let's see the example. My brother asked my sister, close the windows. If we want to make this sentence into indirect form, we just need to add to before the sentence close the window. So, the indirect form will be, my brother asked my sister to close the window. So, just add to here. In the imperative negative, we need to add not to replace the quotation mark. Remember, the direct speech for the prohibition should use the word do not plus verb 1 or no plus verb ing. So the sentence will be don't play in the busy street or no playing in the busy street. If we want to change the direct sentence in the imperative negative into the indirect form, we need to add not to plus verb 1 in the sentence. So we should omit the word do not and the word no. When the sentence, the cop ordered the kids do not play in the busy street, in the indirect form, there will be the cop ordered the kid not to play in the busy street. So just add the word not to. Let's say the second, about statement. In statement, we need to change the tense, time signal, and adverb of place, also the pronoun. If we find out the reported verb are in the second form or in past simple. Let's see the first tense, simple present into the simple past. Let's check the sample below. For the direct speech, we can say, Andy told Anita, I go to school by bus. I go to school by bus. Here we use the first form of the verb, so it is present simple. If we want to change them into indirect speech, we need to add that to replace the quotation mark, and then we should change the tense into the past form or the second form of the verb. Here, the word I should be changed into another pronoun because Andy is talking here, so we should change I into he. So, Andy told Anita, I go to school by bus. In the indirect speech, we can say, Andy told Anita that he went to school by bus. So, from the first form of go into the second form, when. So, but sometimes here that can be omitted in our sentence. We can say that Andy told Anita he went to school by bus. So, there is no changing there. Let's see the second tense, present continuous into past continuous. In present continuous, we are going to use the first form of to be, is, am, are. For the continuous form, we are going to use verb ing. In past continuous, we are going to change the form of our to be into the second form, was and were. Was is used for the singular subject, while were is used for plural. Let's see the example. Michael told Farah, I'm getting my dinner. Here, we use am as the first form of to be to show the sentence is in present. And we use getting, verb plus ing, to show that it is continuous. So, present continuous. If we want to change them into indirect form, it means that we have to put it into past continuous. Michael told Farah that he was getting his dinner. In this sentence, we change not only the tense from present continuous into the past continuous, but also the pronoun used in the sentence from I into he and my into his. So he was getting his dinner. Was is past continuous. The third tense is present perfect. Present perfect will use have and has plus verb 3, and then we are going to change them into past perfect. Past perfect is having had plus verb 3. So let's see the example here. Nora said, I have written my paper since last week. Nora said, I have written my paper since last week. If we want to make it into indirect speech, we need to change the tense, time signal, and also the pronoun here. So, in indirect form, we are going to say, Nora said he had written her paper since the previous week. The word last week should be changed into the previous week. So, don't worry, you are going to get the list about the changing of time signal in the end of these slides. Here we use the word had because it is the past form. We have here because it is the first form or present. So we have the verb 3 to show that it is perfect one. And the next is simple past into past perfect. Remember, when you see the past perfect in indirect form, you should focusing on the time signal, whether it is present perfect or simple past, because past perfect indirect could be coming from the simple past or present perfect. So let's see the example here. Nadia told me, I drank some aspirin last night. I drank some aspirin last night is simple past because we use the second form of the word drink here. When we want to make it into indirect speech, we need to change the word drank into the third form drunk, and then add had here as a past perfect, so had plus verb 3. Here, we also have to change the pronoun and the time signal. Nadia told me that he had drunk some aspirin a night before. The word last night could be changed into a night before. And next is past perfect. When we have direct form in past perfect, it means that we have to put them also in past perfect because they still remain the same. Let's see the example. Celine said, I had closed the gate. I had closed the gate. So here we just have to change the pronoun. So Celine said she had closed the gate. Had closed here still from perfect, past perfect still to the past perfect too. So there is no changing, just the change of I become she. Next is when we use modal auxiliary in our sentence. For modal auxiliary, we just need to change the modal form from the first into the second one. So the modal verb from the first form into the second. Let's see. Alex said, I will go to Jakarta. I will go to Jakarta. The indirect form of the sentence above is Alex said he would go to Jakarta. So the word will be changed into the word would, can, the word could, may, might, shall, should, must, have to, and have to has to into had to. This is the special note for you, talking about the changing of time signal, because when the reported verb are in the past form, we need to change the time signal too. The word yesterday could be a day before or previous day. Tomorrow become the following day. This afternoon, that afternoon. This week, that week. This year, that year. Last week become the previous week. So the word last here could be the previous. Last year could be the previous year. So let's see the third, talking about question. The question indirect and indirect form should be divided into two, yes/no question and WS question. In questions form, we should follow the same rules as the statement. We should change the tense, and we also have to change the question form into the positive form or statement. So there is no question mark in your indirect form. Okay, let's see one by one. The first is yes/no question. In yes/no question, we should replace quotation mark with if or whether. Let's say the example below. Andrew asked Dita, have you finished your dinner? Have you finished your dinner is in the present perfect, but in question. So remember, you should make it into past perfect and then change the form of the sentence from question into positive. So you should put subject before the word had and verb 3. So Andrew asked Dita whether she had finished her dinner. So subject here, had plus verb 3. While in question you have subject, verb 3. So you should make it into the positive. Andrew asked Dita whether she had finished her dinner. Let's see the second WS question. In WS question, we don't need to change the question word. If we use the word where in direct speech, we should also use it in indirect speech. Let's check the example below. Suzy asked Monica, where did you put my dictionary? This question is in simple past. So just make the positive sentence to form the indirect speech into past perfect. So bring your subject before had plus verb 3. So it becomes Suzy asked Monica where she had put her dictionary.
Okay, that's all for my explanations about direct and indirect. I hope you can understand the material. If you want to get extra exercise, you may do online exercise. Just type direct and indirect and then add online exercise. You are going to get plenty of questions in online website. So that's all from me. See you.